Hi, welcome to the Oakley Podcast, Trucking Business and Family. My name is Jeremy Kellett, and I'm Director of Recruiting here at Oakley Trucking, and I'm your host for this podcast, along with my co-host, Megan Cummings.
Howdy.
How you doing?
Great.
I appreciate everybody listening to the Oakley Podcast every week. This week, we actually got one recorded that we've already done, or I should say, not we, Megan has done. And Megan, why don't you just tell us about what's the episode about?
We had two lovely ladies that joined us. They are wives of two of our owner-operators here in Arkansas. And
So you had them come in the office?
Yeah, we had them come into the office. Yeah, they'd never met each other before, which I guess I just never realized that until they got here.
Yeah.
But it worked. It went really good. I really liked this podcast.
What's some of the things y'all discussed?
I kind of wanted to highlight the fact that, yes, driving is a very hard job. You know, we don't give it enough credit as people who don't do that. But there's another half that's, that's really difficult as well, staying at home. You know, that's a job in itself. If you have kids, if you have, a home instead of renting, you got to take care of all of the duties at home, mowing, killing the bugs.
Yeah.
I made sure to bring that up because I was like, okay, so what happens, But they did really good. And I noticed that they had, and I don't know, maybe it was just written in the stars, but they had really good chemistry.
Ah.
Yeah.
Never met each other. Sat down here in the studio. Yeah. You started talking to them.
And they just had, I'm not sure if they had anything else in common, but they had that main, thing in common.
Yeah. Well, probably when you meet another spouse of a truck driver, you got something in common out there. And they hit it off pretty good, huh?
They did. They did a really good job. I did want to mention, I had asked them a question about this on the podcast. I wanted to kind of bring a little focus to support systems, support groups. I know that if we have any wives that are watching, obviously you've got your family, while your husband's away and stuff like that. But the Oakley party, I know some of the drivers talk about how their wives will stay in contact with other wives all throughout the year just to see them at the party.
Oh, because they met each other probably there.
Yeah. Make a lot of friends at the party, Facebook groups, because it's not an easy job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're juggling a lot by yourself, kids, house, stuff like that. So I want to encourage you guys to, reach out, make some friends.
What a great episode.
It was a really good one. Yeah, we'll have to have him back.
I know you're a little nervous about doing that, but you did good by yourself. You had let them have the talk about their husbands being owner-operators, them being spouses, and all the difference it is. It's a great episode. So
yes.
Appreciate you doing it for me.
No problem. I'll be here all week.
I was on assignment.
Important. G14 classified assignment.
So here we are. Listen to this episode that Megan sat down with a couple of spouses of our owner-operators here at Oakley, and I think you'll enjoy it. Appreciate y'all.
A used semi-truck is a great way to kick off your career as an owner-operator on a budget, and buying from a reputable dealer like Aero Truck Sales ensures you're getting a reliable truck that fits your needs. They carry trucks from all the major manufacturers in the trucking industry and perform a thorough inspection of every truck on their lot to ensure safety and quality and give you confidence that you're getting a reliable truck that will last you for years at a price that you can afford. Being a longtime partner with Oakley Trucking and the Oakley Podcast, we trust them to provide our owner-operators with a truck that fits their needs and matches our qualifications. So whether you're a first-time owner-operator or just looking for a new-to-you rig, be sure to give Keith Wilson and Trey Visor a call at 573-216-6047 and let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Oakley Podcast. I am Megan Cummings. I'm your guest for this episode. This week we've got some very special guests. I'm joined with Ashley Jones and Jamie Hutchins, some lovely, who just happened to be married to our drivers.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. So we wanted to kind of get a different perspective. We talked to a lot of drivers from week to week. And this is just a little bit of a Just Us Girls podcast. So we'll kind of deep dive, on the other end of the spectrum because, what you guys do is a job in itself. So shed some light on you guys this week. Who wants to go first? Don't go all at once. Let's give a little introduction to you guys.
Okay.
Who we've got on the podcast.
Well, I'm Jamie Hutchins, and I'm married to Daryl Hutchins,
Mm-hmm.
who is leased on here with Oakley. He will be here 10 years next month.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
God, time has gone by fast. He has been a truck driver for over 40 years,
Wow.
and we have been married 28 years, been together 30 years.
Oh, so you've been there through the whole thing.
I've been here through most of everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Old veteran. 40 years.
Yep.
Has that ever been, have you ever sat back and thought, this isn't what I thought I was getting into?
No, I really haven't.
So it's just been a way of life
Yeah.
since you guys met?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ashley.
I am Ashley Jones. I am married to Bobby Jones. He has been with Oakley for going on 6 years. We've been married 7 this year, together 9. And before that, he was oil field, so he was always gone too. So him being gone all the time is kind of just
the
always
norm.
been the thing.
Okay. So you both
So-
are veterans in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does, this is something that I've always wondered. Do you guys both have kids?
We don't.
No kids?
No, we just have dogs and
Dogs.
chickens.
Oh, so pretty much the same
Yeah.
thing. So how does the day-to-day life look, because you're basically the head of your household while you're, are you guys, what kind of trailers do they pull? Are they end dumps, hoppers?
End dump.
End dumps?
He was pneumatic. He just switched back. Well, he started as end dump, went to pneumatic, and he's back at end dump.
Okay. So
Yeah.
they're gone for a couple weeks at a time, give or take, from home.
Daryl's not. He's because he does a lot of local stuff too.
Oh, okay.
So he's gone maybe a couple nights out of the week now. I mean, when he first started, he would be gone like maybe a week or, and now he's. It just depends on where he goes, how long he's going to be gone. Sometimes
Right.
it's 3 days, 2 days, and it could be a week. Sometimes. Just depends on where he's going.
Right.
So.
What does life look like when you're at home manning everything by yourself? Without your
Well, it was hard for a while. When we got married, he was working with what was Watkins Motor Lines, and then FedEx came in and bought him out. So he ended up with FedEx for like 25 years.
Wow.
And he worked nights. So I was at work during the day, he was at work at night. And we were constantly crossing paths, which was hard, but I worked in the legal field. I worked for a law firm here in Little Rock, and I retired in 2022.
Congratulations.
So I don't work now, so things are a lot easier now. But you do have a lot of responsibilities at home,
Yeah.
taking care of things at home while they're gone. So they don't have to be burdened with the load of things to do or worry about, when they're gone
Right.
and when they get home. So,
What
but
about
yeah.
you, Ash?
It's pretty chaotic most of the time. We've got 3 kids. They're always going. So it's solo parenting for the most part, especially when he was with Pneumatic. He was gone 2 weeks at a time. So he was really only home about 6 days a month, which was a lot.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually why he switched back to end up, so he could be home every weekend. Because we've just got so much. The kids are going constantly, or in
Oh, yeah.
all the sports, all the things.
Are they all? How old are your babies?
14, almost 14, and then 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of stuff at that age that you want to be there for too.
yeah, there's so it's it can be pretty stressful when he's gone. But it's kind of all we've ever known, so we just go with it.
Yeah.
But him being home every weekend again is a lot better.
Good deal. That's a big job. People, we always think about the things that the drivers have to do on the road, but there's a very real side, that happens at home. I couldn't imagine being at home and having to, if there's a bump in the night,
Yeah.
if there's a spider.
Yeah, especially we live in the country now.
Oh, I called him one time. I said, Daryl, and he left the house. I said, "There's a snake on the front porch."
Oh,
he
my
said, "Well, what do you
God.
want me to do?
Come
Turn around and
home.
come home?"
Take care of it.
So, yeah.
What'd you
I
do?
mean,
Did you?
Didn't go out the front door
I
for a
took
while?
matters into my own hands and,
Oh, God bless you.
Yeah.
You're a better woman than I am. There's no way. And I
and
really
you
gotta hand
do
it-
worry about big things sometimes happening while they're gone. It's like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What will I do?
Sometimes that's when it comes good to have the friends. Like, he was gone one time, and our water heater overflowed in our
Oh no.
garage. And I was like, I can't do this by myself. And so he was like, all right, hold on. And he had some friends come over, and we shut it off and got it changed. And he actually was able to come back home and get it all worked out too. But that's when the big stuff that happens like that, that's when it's really helpful to have
Yeah.
people on your side, because then you're like, I need somebody to step in.
Yes,
Can you be the
yes.
obligatory husband,
Yes.
please?
Speaking of people on your side, do you guys find that there's do you have some kind of a support system where it's like other drivers' wives? It was like, I've been there. I didn't know if they have. I know some people will meet up at the company parties, Facebook, anything like that, to kind of help.
I haven't come across it.
No,
I'm pretty shy, though, so I
totally
haven't really
fine.
come across too much of it.
Right.
I'm pretty independent and can
Yeah.
take care of things, but we have some family that live not far from us, Daryl's brothers, and if something were to happen that I really needed some help or something, I can kind of rely on them
Yeah.
a little bit.
That's
So,
good. Ashley, do you guys is your family pretty close as well? Are you guys from Arkansas?
I'm not originally. I'm originally from Colorado. But he's originally from here. So his family is down here. He's got 2 brothers, a dad, and a sister that are within like 10 miles of us.
Okay, good deal.
So that's helpful.
Always makes it easier.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, we were talking about you have just retired from the law firm or a law firm in Little Rock. Are you just spending your days easy living now?
taking care of dogs and chickens
yes.
house and
Yeah.
mowing, doing a lot of
Oh,
things
goodness.
that Daryl doesn't
Oh.
have to do
The
when he gets
mowing.
home, except for maybe some cleanup work like weed eating. and,
Yes.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have enjoyed it.
Lovely.
have enjoyed it.
Congratulations again.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you do anything as far as
I stay at home. I was watching some kids, but they have now gone to school.
yeah,
So as of right now, I'm just staying at home.
just manning the fort
Yep.
while the husband's away?
Yep.
Absolutely admirable. So how is Daryl and Bobby's job with Oakley help provide for you guys and your family? Is there anything that stands out as far as that goes?
Well, with Oakley being a great company and having been a company that's been around for many years, I was even pretty, well, I didn't really know of Oakley, but we had done some business with Oakley before at the law firm. So I was familiar,
okay.
with the name, and stuff. The thing about being an owner-operator is you can kind of make what you want.
Yeah.
And but you got to be able to manage your money well.
Yes.
So it has been great for Daryl and us because if you get in a pickle and you need a little extra money, it can be there for him. He can make it.
Yeah.
Or if he needs the time off and maybe can kind of take a little break, then they go a little easy on him,
Yep.
They don't send him all over the place. So Oakley has been really, really good for Daryl.
Right.
Daryl loves being a truck driver. He's, like I said, he's been in the business for 40 years. And, it's rewarding and challenging, what they do. I did ride with them one time, and he said, well, what'd you think? And I said, I don't really know how you do this. I don't know how you do this all day, sitting in a truck and dealing with all this traffic. And I do know one thing. Four-wheelers a lot of times do not respect
Oh, not
truck
at all.
drivers on the road. And really aggravates me.
Yes, absolutely.
It really aggravates me because it's like there's a lot of daredevils out there. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're thinking, but it's a hard job. It's a stressful job for these guys. I don't know how they do it sometimes, but I respect them.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
So,
They're what
gives
makes the world go.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Really,
without truckers, we wouldn't.
We'd be up a creek.
Yeah.
We would be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we would
Yeah.
be way up a creek.
Yeah.
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 I think
so.
whenever you, I know there was a very real moment in time shortly after I started working here where you just gain an immense amount of respect for these guys, because it's not just sitting behind a wheel and driving all day. It's so much more. And then you realize the magnitude of if these people didn't exist, where would we be? What would we have?
Yeah.
So I think that being married to one, working with one, it gives you a real insight on what it actually is like. Ashley, have you ever done a ride along?
Only a day. I only did a day. I am not a distance girl when it comes to being in the vehicle. I don't love it. I never have. I sleep. I'm a sleepy girl, especially in a car. So we went up to Batesville one time. Other than that, no. My oldest did, though. And he was not a fan.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Nope. He could not stand to be in the truck very long.
Oh, yeah.
And then the air went out in the truck, so there
Oh,
was that on
God.
top of that. That was awful. So now he's kind of traumatized.
Yeah.
Now he won't go back on the road with him. But yeah, I don't know how they do it. I really don't. It's not for me.
It really takes special people to do it.
It
Oh,
does.
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're a different breed, that's for sure.
They are a different breed.
But you know what? I know I keep circling everything back to you guys. They could say the same thing about you. I know it's got to be, because you're regardless of what they were doing when you guys got married or when you met each other, what you knew you were getting into, it's still, it doesn't take away that it's got to be hard being away from your spouse for sometimes weeks or nights.
You have to have a very good, strong, and trusting relationship as well.
Yes.
You
Yes.
do. Because they're away from home all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's there. We love each other. We trust each other. And we're kind of used to the distance, I guess. You get used to it over time.
Yeah.
When you've been around it for so long. But it can be hard sometimes. Lonely.
Yes.
And they really get lonely out there too. I mean, just looking at a road
Yeah.
8 or 9 or 10 hours a day and being in their truck, their truck is kind of their home away from home.
Right.
And they're in their truck at night and by themselves. And so we call each other quite a bit and check on them, how's the traffic, and I don't want to tell you how he answers that sometimes. But it's like I said, what they do, it's rewarding and challenging, but I mean, it takes a special breed to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think it takes a special women
Yes.
I agree.
to be able to be with somebody that's,
Absolutely.
you're gone all the time. And
Some people
I mean,
can't handle that.
No, they can't handle that, the separation part. But like I said, if you have a good, strong relationship and you trust each other and you got good communication, it works.
Right.
Communication is definitely key on that.
It's the key.
Absolutely. And we know communication's key to any relationship or anything in life anyways, but especially when they're gone, it's so important
Right.
to have that.
I mean, if you had a lot of marital issues and a lot of money problems and a lot of family problems, with kids or stuff like that. I mean, that's a lot of stress on them out there.
Yes.
Being
And
away.
they're out there and they get to thinking about all this stuff on the road and stuff, and it distracts them, so it,
It's an ebb and a flow, especially, I mean, I know I get in my head about stupid stuff, all the time. And I just couldn't imagine being by myself, on either side of that, whether you're the husband or the wife, either you're the wife at home and you have nothing else to do but think, you're by yourself, or, if you're on the road just driving all day by yourself. I don't know. I couldn't imagine it. Speaking of special breed, I had I guess it's not really special breed, but we had a family friend whose husband drove for Walmart for like 45 years, and he finally retired. He had just had enough, hung up his keys, and we all thought that she was going to kill him whenever he got back home. You get so used to...
You kind of get used to your own space and your own time, and you think about, well, this is what I want to do tomorrow. Oh, by the way, did I tell you I was coming home tomorrow?
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's like, great, I love to see you, but you just
okay,
kind of messed it up.
Well, what time are you coming home? Oh, darn, I can't go shopping and do all these things I wanted to do tomorrow. But no, but you do kind of get used to your own time and your space and your independence. I mean, I hate to say that, but you do.
Yeah.
You do.
And it's like living on your own before you get married or something. You know,
Right.
you're used to your own routine and everything, and you're used to your own space and doing things when you want to do them, sleeping in when
How
you want to
you do
sleep
them.
in, eat what you want to eat. But if I know he's coming home, it's like, okay, I feel like, I got to cook something, because you want
they
him
don't
to
have that home
they
cooked
don't
meal.
have that. But I do a lot of home cooking because he has a refrigerator in his truck and a TV. And so we do make a lot of meals, and he takes them with him.
Just freezes
So
them.
he doesn't have to go out and eat a lot. It's kind of a money saver thing, too, You can eat up a paycheck really fast by stopping at every restaurant known to
Absolutely.
man and eating. So he's a little conservative. We're conservative in that way, I make some good meals for him, and so he's not out eating a lot of fast food and stuff. And
Right.
and he'll get out of his truck wherever he's at, and if there's other truckers there, they talk and have conversation, and sometimes they'll say, hey, we're going to go eat here. You want to go with us? No, my wife cooked me some food, so I'm going to go in here and eat,
Look at him.
So, but he would rather have the home-cooked meals than going out and eating all the time.
Absolutely.
So.
And that's got to get just so tiring after a while.
Man, could you imagine just eating fast
No.
food and
No.
stuff just every day?
Whenever you come back from vacation and you're like, oh my God, I can't
Cannot
wait for a
wait.
pot of beans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just something that I cooked that's
Or a
not
roast or
McDonald's.
something.
Yes,
Yeah.
something warm that is home cooked.
That good comfort food.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, we don't do it always like that. A lot of the time, we'll get good snacks and stuff that he can eat, but otherwise, he'll go stir crazy because he'll just stay in the truck. So I don't send all the food. Like, he'll have meals, but I don't send all the food because I'm like, you can get out of the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can go have a meal. You can, because he'll just stay in the truck. And I'm like, yeah, you got to get out of that thing sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm with you. We do about a 50-50.
Yeah.
Send the food, but then you can get out of the truck. It's
Yeah.
okay. Go get something to eat.
Right.
Definitely a happy medium there.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
it's the
Yes.
same thing at home. I mean, after
Yes.
a couple of days at home, I'm itching
Oh,
to get
yeah,
out.
and you want to go out and eat somewhere.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm done cooking.
Just get
right
out of
now.
the house
Yeah.
for a little bit, That's
Yeah.
the same exact thing.
LubeZone has been servicing single trucks and truck fleets for more than 20 years across 12 locations nationwide. LubeZone specializes in quick, full-service oil changes that take approximately 30 to 40 minutes. They also offer tractor-trailer grease, gearbox service, generator service, reefer service, and DOT inspections. They aim to go the extra mile when it comes to quality control. This means your tractor is checked not only once, but 2 times to ensure all service and parts meet their guaranteed quality and standards. No other service center knows semi-trucks better than LubeZone. If your truck needs serviced, check out lubezone.com to find all of their locations, and when you stop by, let them know you heard it here on the Oakley Podcast.
So, circling back on that, do you guys ever wonder what it's going to be like whenever they retire and come back home? And it's not just like your own space with your boyfriend visiting every couple nights or every couple weeks.
It's going to be a change for sure. Yeah, I don't know, because the weeks that he is off, everyone's like, she's going to kill you by the end of this. You realize this, right? I'm like, no, it's not that bad. But then I'm like, whew, what day do you go back to work?
I
I
think-
just need peace and quiet for a minute.
Yeah.
I just need my normalcy back.
I think maybe before that happens, or the time is getting close when they retire or something. Make sure you have some hobbies.
Yes.
Yes.
My husband likes to play golf. He loves to play golf, and he does a lot of that. Even now, on weekends sometimes, and he'll probably do that a whole lot more. And we'll travel a little bit.
Yeah.
When they've been in a truck most of their life, when you want to travel somewhere, that's not sometimes on the top of the list. It's, well, I don't really feel like driving that far.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
But it hasn't been like that with us, too much. More so me sometimes, it's like I don't really want to drive 12 hours to
No.
San Antonio or somewhere, or 10 hours. Or I said, you've been in a truck all week, and, if we take vacation next week, you sure you want to go out of town and drive? And it don't make any difference to me. That's what I do.
I'm used to
it. So, yeah.
So we'll just jump over the bridge.
So having some hobbies will be good. So that way you can still kind of do things that you want to do, and days he can go out and do his hobbies, and
Very insightful. Okay, we're putting that one down. Okay, so both of the guys were driving before you guys got married.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of, Ashley, was Bobby driving before you got married?
He was in the oil field.
Oil field, so it was still a
gone.
Yeah. So this is kind of all you guys have known.
That's all we've ever known.
So it's just kind of, obviously you make it work, and I'm not saying that it doesn't get tough, but it's kind of just.
It used to really be tough because I would be going to work, and he would be coming home, and we'd be waving,
Love you.
And then when I'm coming home, he was going to work, and he used to make like 2 runs to Memphis at night.
Man.
How he did that, I don't know. Go to Memphis, turn around, come back, unload, load, go back to Memphis, come back, twice a night. And, driving 40 is not always the, I think they've been doing construction on 40, I think, since I was in high school, But we never saw each other, through the whole week. So it would be the weekend, we're like trying to do things together, and he's trying to catch up on sleep. And it was really hard, back then. It was an adjustment because I'd be ready to do something on Saturday, and he's coming in on Saturday morning.
Ready to go to bed.
Ready to go to bed.
Yeah.
And so those days were pretty tough. But he still managed to have hobbies then. He would fish. He would fish in tournaments with his brother, and still tried to maintain a balanced life where, if you work and do nothing that you enjoy,
What's the point?
it's you can kind of get depressed. It's like, especially when you're younger, and you start thinking, there's got to be more to life than just work. That's all we do is work. Work. So, but he still tried to do things. He ran some marathons, and when he'd get off work, he'd go train with a group, and I don't know where he got the energy to do all this stuff, or he would, when he would get off work, sometimes he would take like a Thursday and Friday off and go fish a tournament with his brother. And so I wouldn't see him through the week, and then I wouldn't see him most of the weekend either because he's out fishing a tournament. But you have to be supportive. You have to have a good marriage. You got to love one another and trust one another. And you still got to let them do things that they enjoy,
Right. Right. So do you have any advice for someone who is, say it's a woman who's like, well, my husband's thinking about driving a truck. I'm not sure how to feel about it. You guys have been, I hate to say put through the ringer, but you've been there for a while. You guys have kind of lived to tell the tale. Is there anything that you would offer up to somebody who is?
You have to be a strong person, and you have to have some independence. You if it bothers you to be alone, or you're scared to death to be by yourself, and you have anxieties about being alone, maybe truck driving's not, maybe getting with a truck driver
Right.
or marrying somebody that's a truck driver may not be the thing for you, because they are going to be gone a lot. I mean, that's how they make their money.
Yeah. And it's a passion. I don't ever feel like anybody does it for a couple years or a couple months.
Mm-mm.
It's normally until you find it and you stick to it until you retire.
Yeah.
That seems to be a pretty common thing. Ashley, do you have anything to add to that?
Communication, like we've said before, just make sure you're comfortable in your relationship where you're like, you can talk to them. Because it is okay to be sad a week and like be real down and miss them. And it's okay to communicate with that with them because they're going to understand it too. And then when they get home, you just got to prioritize your time with them.
Yeah.
Like, we always make sure that the time that we actually do get together is, even if we're just sitting on the couch, it's intentional. It's just time that we can be together, and you just have to communicate and prioritize your time.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I've decided maybe I should go find a truck driver to marry after talking to you guys. I think I'd probably fit the
There's
bill.
nothing wrong with truck drivers.
They are good guys.
They are good, hardworking guys. They're kind of the backbone of our country.
Absolutely.
So,
It's been lovely having you guys on today. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to add for our listeners, your future fan base?
the future.
I don't think so.
I think we've kind of covered some grounds here. No, I don't think so.
Okie dokie. Well, Jamie, Ashley, thank you guys for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow, share the podcast wherever you can so we can get the word out. Thank you guys again for joining me today. It's been lovely.
And thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us.
You're welcome. We'll see you
Appreciate
guys
it.
next week.
All right.